quick follow-up, Grady. I'm trying to wrap my head around this. What does actual return equal benchmark mean? So our benchmark is whatever we do? I mean, I don't want to oversimplify, but is that what that is saying? You're saying our benchmark is what we do?
When we calculate that total fund return number, we set the benchmark for that calculation equal to what the actual returns have been in the alternatives portfolio, yes. And this is an issue that, we're happy to discuss now or in that benchmark discussion. But yes, that is the case for the total fund calculation. I think it's important to be clear that when we look at the returns of those two asset categories, those benchmarks are used to track the performance success for private equity and opportunistic diversified.
And I guess final question, Madam Chair. And I think I understood, Ray, so I'm going to look to John as the Chief Investment Officer. So when we evaluate how people in that group did for purposes of the performance bonuses, on a total fund basis, they're basically being measured against whatever they did. So they achieved their benchmark. Is that correct?
No, that's
because I thought that's what Brady said.
For them, they are compared to those benchmarks for their portfolio and asset class results, which for really all of them, for most of that group is 90% of their incentive. 10% of their incentive is on total fund. So the total fund is the only part that uses the actual return. And that is just simply to, as Brady called it, distortion, but on a shorter time period of like a 1-year time period, you can have very large variability between a private market portfolio, a private market asset class, and a public market benchmark. This is the most difficult asset class to benchmark. It has been an issue for years and years, and there are a wide variety of approaches to it by various investors. I don't think we're necessarily unique in our approach, but I think part of this evaluation can be, well, is there a benchmark that would be a better fit that could be incorporated in the total fund blended benchmark that would provide less variability year to year between the portfolio or the asset class and the benchmark? Right now, you can have very wide ranges of actual returns relative on private market assets compared to a public market benchmark. And the Russell 3000 is a public market benchmark. So because of valuation lags, because they have different components of them, we obviously don't own public market securities and alternatives. It is a pretty common benchmark to use a public market benchmark for alternative investments, and we've looked at that across a number of other funds, but we're going to look at it again as part of this project and see if there is a better answer. We will evaluate whether there's a better answer to it. But those issues have existed for a long time.
Okay. Thank you, John.